Hello. I know I said I was going to make YouTube videos and I completely stopped. And, things happened. So I'm going to show you how I make human hair lock extensions. Okay, so what I take is this texture hair. Any texture will do, but the coarser, the kinkier, the tighter the curl pattern, the better. I've used this, I guess it's a Spanish wave. I am not well versed in weave terminology or extension terminology outside of Afro kinky because that's not what I deal with. But this is fairly textured, chemically altered, I'm sure, straight hair. But what we're gonna do is we're going to place that tightly, right, between the legs. And I'm going to use a tight comb. When I say tight, meaning the teeth are tight, okay? Tight together. Instead of this side, you can use this side. And what I'm going to do now is simply back comb, okay? Back comb, back comb, back comb, back comb, back comb, back comb. And if I see any straight pieces still remaining, back comb, back comb, back comb. Back comb, and if you want to retain length, don't back comb too tightly because it's going to make it super compact, not giving you enough opportunity to use that length, right? If I go too tight, it's going to be super short and shrink up. So that's something you want to discuss in the consultation, my fellow loctician stylist, okay? Now, next step, I'm going to use, you can either use your 3-prong, all right, and it's 0.5 milliliters, or you can use your 2-prong, right? I'm going to use my 2-prong because it's not a whole big portion of hair. And the first thing I'll do is I'm going to go in and out, not just grabbing, ripping, because that's going to tear the hair and make it weaker. I'm actually kind of creating a cylinder. So this is the motion I'm making, and I'm using these little tiny hooks to grab pieces of hair, okay? Just making, and I'm also feeling out the lock because I want it to form into that cylinder. All right, when I get down a bit, I'm gonna back comb a little bit more, and then for my fine detailing, I'm then gonna use my 1-prong and protect those fingers because you see this right here? This is a result of creating locks. It's not an easy task. Well, it is easy after a while, just like anything. Practice makes permanent. And I'm doing the same motion, just in, literally, I'm gonna show you up close. I am coiling, right? Putting it in and out. So basically you want to feel, right? You want to feel that you're pulling strands of hair, not ripping, but pulling strands of hair to wrap around the lock, creating a coil. A coil of knots, right? Not a typical comb coil, but a coil of knots, so to speak. And I'm just going down the shaft of the lock, around and around, in and out, as I'm twisting my lock as well. Just trying to get loose pieces, and I don't compact it too tightly because I don't want stiff locks. I want, ooh, see that hurt? Ooh, it happens. I should have put my Band-Aid on, but I didn't. So, punishing myself. And if I feel like I need to go a bit more, just to kind of tighten it a bit. And I'm going to leave these loose hairs because this is what I'll use to wrap around the client's hair to create my base and my foundation. I've slowed down because I hit my finger, so all the sweat that you can't see is dripping in my shirt because it hurts. It hurts a lot. You start to get numb to it after a while. There's also these cute little finger protection pieces that you can use. Thumbelinas, right? Put this on, but sometimes it gets in my way, so I prefer to use a rubber band. But today I'm going to use it because it hurt. It's like you feel your whole soul leave your body. And then once I've created all my locks, I am using a protective, new towel, but I'm still going to go in back behind and use a disinfectant braid spray, in which, just to ensure that, any cross pathogens, cross germs are killed before I place it in the client's hair. So again, this wasn't like a full detail that I hope you got to see clear enough, but I just wanted to give you, I was just killing some time before I go home. And I had to create a few more locks for this guest. This one is before, right? So before I've actually gone in with my needle. And I'll show you, if I do it with a 3, it just goes a little faster. Another technique you can do is kind of pulling the hair through. All right, pulling it through. And you're using those little hooks, Again, you're not ripping. That's gonna just create weak locks. And now I'm going through. See how it gets condensed. So think about me doing this for, I don't know, 4 hours, 6 hours straight. I don't know what you think a fair price is, but I know what I'm worth. And if a stylist gives you a price, either shop around if you don't like the price, but don't try to negotiate her prices, because she has determined she's worth it based on this. Doing this for 8 hours straight, baby, let me tell you, that's why I only book 1 a day, okay? And, I'm not a man. I don't want to do this all day. I don't want to, unless I'm going to get paid and compensated well. That's probably why I have some nice guns, right? But the point being, this takes effort. It's a physically demanding job. And yes, I chose this job, but I'm going to charge accordingly because of the labor-intensive work, the pain, the risk that comes with it. And I don't want to slow down. I want to keep that momentum going. So don't you think it's fair that you're charged accordingly for it? And if you want to do it yourself, by all means, do it yourself. But don't sit in your stylist chair and look at them like, ooh, that's more than I wanted to pay. Just, oh, okay, I understand. Let me save for that. But don't say, well, can you do it for cheaper? Don't insult your stylist. Because if you were able to do it, you would do it. If you thought it was easy, you would do it. Just remember that. Please respect your clients, your stylist time. And we want to respect your time. We want to give you our best. So let's keep that in mind. You don't go to the doctor and say, ooh, can you do it for a little cheaper? That's insulting your professional. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I just had to throw that in there. But truth be told, I love doing it. I enjoy doing it. But I'm going to charge accordingly because it is very labor-intensive work. It comes with some level of risk. The risk being carpal tunnel, stabs to the finger, stabs to the hand, But you're going to look fly when you're done. And what you're paying for is the convenience of not locking your own hair, which takes time. It's not an overnight thing. So this is the reason why I always try to talk people into locking their own hair. One, it's way more cost effective to simply start as comb coils or instant locking your own hair. But once you go into adding extensions, you're having to buy the hair, you're having to, and then you're paying for putting someone else's energy. This is the biggest factor out of everything, cost aside. You're paying for someone else's energy to be placed upon your scalp. Think about that and let that soak in. I love you. I still hope that you choose to do this with your own hair, but if you must, understand why the costs are what they are. It's very labor intensive. And you are basically fast forwarding a year's worth of locking process by doing this. So good luck, happy journey. Welcome to the Loc family if you're a part of it, and come on in if you've been thinking about it. There's nothing to fear, nothing to fear. I love you.